7 Kia Sedona. It's cold, and listen to this power steering pump. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can fix that. Of course, if you turn the steering wheel back and forth a few times, you can warm the pump up a little faster and the sound goes away. We're gonna try to fix it because it's really annoying, and it's worse the colder that it is. Here we go. It's almost gone now. Alright. Pump is leaking to the point where I decided to just buy a new one. Now I know they sell a rebuild kit for the pump where I could replace all the gaskets and so forth, but again, given the age, 10 years old, going on 11, the miles, almost 200,000, I decided for the $110 that I would just put in a new pump, and this is supposedly brand new. It looks brand new. I got it from carparts.com, buycarparts.com. Seems okay. So let's put it in. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take off the serpentine belt. So down, let's see, down there is a bolt. Right there it is, right there. There's a bolt. It's not really a bolt. It's attached to the bottom of this idler pulley. And it's an adjustment. You put a 19 millimeter on that and then push it that way and it will loosen the belt. Okay, sorry about the bad lighting. There it is. So it's on there. I push it. You can see the idler move. And then you can get the belt off. So that's what I'm going to do. Jacked up both sides of the vehicle. Chalked the back wheels. I'm in between snowstorms here, so I need to do this today. It's about as good as it's going to get. Okay, just to explain what's going on. When you go to take the pump out, there's two bolts. This one's really easy to get to. The bolt goes in there. It's 14 millimeter. On this one, it's very hard to get to. On a lot of pumps, you just go right through here and get the bolt. But on this vehicle, it's mounted from the back. It's very, very hard to get to. Let me show you what I did. Okay, I have a really long set of extensions going all the way up to the back of the pump. And I fitted the socket on there by hand to get to it, to get it on there. Okay, to make it possible to get up there, I have a flex head on here, and I put some electrical tape to keep it from flopping around. I positioned that first, and then slowly added extensions until I got it all the way out to the transfer case, the transaxle between the exhaust flex pipe. Okay, so now that we get the pump off, we can more easily manipulate it so that we can get this, it's the high pressure line hose that's still connected to it. Let me show you what that's a 24 millimeter socket. Right there. And there's also you can put a wrench on that to keep the base from turning. So now, the reason I waited last is I wanted to be sure I could get the pump out of here before I took that power line off, that hydraulic line. Because once you take that off, it's going to be a freaking mess. So now's your time. You're committing at this point. Make sure you have your gloves on and a place for this thing to drain. Everything in the pump is going to leak out of this. So, all right. Okay, one of the things that I forgot to mention is there's an electrical cable that goes to the pump. Just unplug that. Just squeeze it. Pops off real easy. I pulled the pump out between the axle on the bottom. Piece of cake. Majority of the work was done from the bottom. Okay, something to look out for is when you take, this is the high pressure bolt. It has a copper crush washer on it, which is really like a gasket. And so there's one on each side, there's one there. Then it would go through the tube assembly, and this would mate up to the pump housing. So on your new pump, you're just going to want to make sure that this fits correctly. Careful you don't cross thread anything. If it doesn't fit, don't proceed. All right, so it looks good. All right, so it turns out I put the top bolt in the pump first, threaded it with my fingers, and then used my socket. Put the bottom bolt in. That was good. Now I cleaned off the copper compression gaskets. And you'll notice that one of these gaskets, one of these compression washers has a little round thing on it. On that hose that's up there, hold on. You see the nub on that hose right up there? Well, there's a smaller nub on the other side, and this is designed to hook into it. It helps it, keeps it from falling off while you're trying to do the work here. So clean all these up. Put the two washers on there, one on the top side, one on the bottom side, and then put it in place finger tight. Now this particular nub goes in that bracket right there, and that helps hold the thing so you can tighten it without having to put a wrench on it. So I could only get the hydraulic pressure line finger tight from down there. The angles are much better from the top to reach it with your 24 mil. That's probably the way you'd take it off if you were doing that as a first step. But since I wanted the pump separated before I committed to that, it was easier from the bottom. Anyway, you can decide. Okay, so the pump's all attached. The hydraulic line's attached. Going to put this line in, back in. This is from the reservoir down. And then refill it. All right, so the last few steps, of course, put the belt back on. That's not going to work if you don't do it. The power steering pump runs off the belt. I'm going to refill the reservoir, start it up, turn the wheel back and forth to circulate the fluid. You're going to want to do that for a while. Leave the cover off because that's how it bleeds. The air comes up, bubbles up out of here, and disappears. If you put the cap on, you trap the air inside the system. Let it run for a while, let it get warm, turn the wheel back and forth, check for leaks. If there are no leaks, you're done. If there are more leaks,